Okay, so good afternoon. It is June 2nd. I keep thinking it's Tuesday because we had that Monday off, or that Monday holiday, and so I'm a little messed up today. But June 2nd, we'll talk about a few topics that came up in the last, I would say, 24 hours today. First, we will, good afternoon, Elizabeth. How are you? Hope everyone is fine. We, from a market standpoint, if you're following along, Viacom finished down 2 cents. So I'm heartbroken by that. Not really. If you're watching the market, if you remember a few months back when GameStop did that ridiculous run from like $15 to 300 and change, you're seeing that same, we call them the meme stocks. They're the stocks from social media, from Reddit, things of that nature. And I'll just take a look at, okay, Dave, we'll answer that. So Dave just asked me about CVS. Dave and I have a bet on who will do better, Viacom or CVS, between about 2 weeks ago and September 1st. For the record, I'm destroying him right now, and I will in September 1st as well, so he'll owe me dinner. So we'll just get that out of the way. But if you are watching this other stock called AMC, which is a movie theater chain, not the TV station, and it went up $30 today. It's now $62. So this is the group of people on Reddit, which is a social media site, that are targeting companies with a high short interest. So large hedge funds basically bet the stock to go down. And if a lot of people go in and buy it quickly and jack the price up, they get stuck. And they can't get out of it unless they pay a huge number. And they're trying to do that to some hedge funds. They did it to one in January. They're trying to do that now. The stock AMC doubled today. AMC has probably a net value of nothing. It is not a growing company. It has a terrible balance sheet. If you were to look at their balance sheet and say, would you invest $5? You'd probably say no. But when these stocks get, looked at in social media, they're going after stocks that have a high short interest, which means a lot of people are essentially betting it to go down. And if you don't understand what shorting a stock means, shorting a stock is, let's suppose I buy a stock from a broker, but I own it, but the broker has it. The broker can let somebody else borrow that stock. So let's suppose I bought it at $10 and I want it to go to 12. That broker says, okay, I'm going to let this guy over here borrow it, and he hopes it goes down so that when I ask for it back, it's only worth $8. So he got $10 for it, has to return $8 for it. He gets a $2 difference. Companies look at fundamentals and say, this company's not very good, it's going to go down, and they bet it to go down. On Reddit, we have a group of people that are saying, okay, let's have some fun. Let's get thousands of investors worldwide to all go into the same stock at the same time in a 2 or 3 day period, jack that price up. The person who has that stock, who shorted it, has to give it back. But now, instead of giving it back lower, giving it back much, much higher because demand for that stock has gone up. So that's what shorting is, and that's what's happening now. It's phenomenal. People ask me all the time, are you in it? No. I invest and I day trade or swing trade based on fundamentals of companies. I don't want to look at what the mob is doing. I want to look at, are the fundamentals good? Same thing with cryptocurrency and Dogecoin and those types of things. There's no way to really analyze them. You can't look at future earnings, or you can't. So there's no way to analyze this like you would as a business, investing in a business. So no, I don't do those. But it's fascinating to watch. In any event, that was the market today. Okay, so the thing pressing today is Robin Comey. And so last Thursday, Robin spoke on a bill. I want to find out what this bill was. Hold on a second. The bill number was House Bill 6558. I'm guessing that had something to do with legislation. Let's see. I'm going to look this up first. House Bill 6558. It is, so this makes sense, an act concerning issues relating to the provision of early childhood education and services in Connecticut. So that's right up Robin's alley. This is what she focuses on. If you've seen when I've had interviews with her on the site, this is where she excels, talking about these types of things. So she rose to speak, apparently later in the evening on Thursday, to speak on this bill. And what happened was rough. Really couldn't get her words out. She was clearly telling us that a constituent had asked her a question, but she just couldn't. She froze a few times, couldn't get her words out. It looked either something was medically wrong or she was close to drunk. Now, that's just watching the video. Today, Kevin Rennie is a former Republican member of the House or Senate, I'm not sure, who now writes a column for the Hartford Courant. I've had issues with Kevin Rennie in the past, primarily on an article he wrote about Sean Scanlon, saying that Scanlon got the position at Tweed Airport just because of his connections. Well, those connections are what basically resulted in a new airline going into Tweed and some massive changes at Tweed. So his article was ridiculous. But in this case, he's bringing to light an issue in the Capitol, which is there's a lot of drinking going on. Now, before Republicans jump all over this, I will tell you that you probably will not hear much from Republican legislators because they know what I know and what everybody in Hartford knows, that Robin's not the only person who drinks. There's Republicans up there that have gone to rehab. There's Republicans up there that have had drinking issues. So that's the case. This was a rough moment, an embarrassing moment, no question about it. The House ended up going into recess, as the article points out. Dr. Pettit, William Pettit, who's well known from the Cheshire tragedy, went to help her. Other people went to help her. They got her some water. The video shows that in that recess. That said, Rennie clearly implies that Comey was drunk or had been heavily drinking. In his article, he implies many people, in previous articles, showed pictures of drinks. And what's happening is that people have always drank in the Capitol. That's not surprising to me. I interned up there. There were people drinking, after sessions, especially at the end of session. It's completely common to, have a thing where you have some drinks. That's not shocking by any means. What's happening is now, with more people voting from their offices, they're drinking in their offices. They're getting together in the parking garage, or they're getting together in certain places and drinking because they're voting not in the chamber. They're voting on their laptops or on their computers. There's far more drinking going on. So about an hour ago, Robin Comey put out a statement, and I will read it. It says, Representative Robin Comey's statement on House floor video last week. I would like to sincerely apologize for my behavior last Thursday night. That evening, while speaking on House Bill 6558, I suddenly and unexpectedly began to feel unwell. This was due to several factors, including anxiety, exhaustion, and regrettably, the wine I had with dinner. In an abundance of caution, I did not drive home and remained in Hartford until the following morning. This type of behavior is not typical for me. I take full responsibility for my error in judgment. To my Brantford constituents, I will continue fighting for you with the same responsibility, respect, and commitment as always. I am grateful for your understanding and support. So, first of all, if you're a constituent and you're upset, you have a right to be. This is not what we should have seen from somebody representing our town. During the election, this was actually part of the discussion on how people would represent us, because her opponent had a history of posting things online that were inappropriate, sexist. The difference here is Robin Comey has put out an apology, and her opponent in the last election never did. Never wanted to acknowledge that he had posted ridiculous things online, sexist things online. We have no idea if alcohol was involved in that or not. So we have to give her credit for a statement and accepting responsibility for it. Am I someone who believes that it's a one-time thing that someone drinks that much? No, I'm not stupid. And the hope is, if this is something that she needs help with, that she gets it. It's not uncommon. I wouldn't say it's not uncommon. It's not unheard of that elected officials need help with stuff. Going through, remember, Robin Comey just won re-election last year. So her term, her time in office has been probably some of the most stressful time in history, with COVID, with all the issues happening, with the thousands of calls she received on unemployment, on insurance, and things of that nature. We're not excusing her behavior in any way, shape, or form. What happened was wrong. It will come up in the next election. It will be part of questions. I'll ask that, the press will ask, that her opponents should ask. That's part of it. She has to deal with that. My hope is that if this is a problem, that she gets help and gets help now over the summer when the sessions close, what have you. That's fine. We can take her at her word that it's not a problem. I don't know if that's true or not. That said, there's no excuse for it. So there's no right answer. It's just on how you feel. If you're going to take a Democrat-Republican view of it, that makes no sense, because trust me, there's plenty of skeletons in those closets in Hartford as well. So that's certainly, just as easily could have been a Republican. In this case, this was somebody representing Brantford, my town, our town, for most of the viewers here. This was wrong. And she should have to answer to that up to at least the next election, if she runs again. I don't know if she will or not. And that's it. And so there's really not much more to say on it. It was an embarrassing moment. We will post, we'll do an article and post the video. It is about, I don't know, 10 minutes long. Maybe shorter than that. Clearly something's wrong. And I'm not a drinker. I rarely drink. I know a lot of our elected officials don't. I don't think Sean Skinlon drinks at all. I'm not sure about all of them, but in general, I'm not always clear what 5 or 6 drinks would do to me. But especially someone her size, what have you. So it was a tough day, but she's taken responsibility for it. We hope she gets whatever help she needs. There's no shame in that. If she had another issue, we want her to get help with that too. But these are things we're going to have to answer coming at the next election. And if questions come up from Republicans in the next race and from the press, that's fair game. This is public, and she did it. And it is an embarrassing moment for Brantford. There's no question about it. That said, Kathy's comment, we need to allow the public back into the Capitol building again. Hopefully things will return to normal. So it is getting kind of ridiculous. If you live in Brantford and you drive by the Lenny's, the Stand, Guacamole's, Tiki Bar corner, which is an eighth of a mile down the street from me, and you see these places absolutely packed, and then think people can't get in the Capitol, this is stupid. We've reached crazy now. Like, this is just dumb. Open the goddamn thing up. This is stupid. Vote in the chamber, interact with each other, get back to normal. No one's going to stop having a drink after work. After a session's over. I remember the session ended and everybody was drinking. That's fine. Those are things that happen. But this idea that they can't vote in the chamber is a little bit crazy. Mark Riccio. So this is Mark Riccio just commented. Who's the person who ran against Robin Comey? So let's read his comment. Hold on. Hey, Mr. Know-It-All. Well, we're going to read these. By the way, this is a member of the Republican Town Committee in Brantford. We should know that. Hey, Mr. Know-It-All, you were concerned Mark Riccio would be an embarrassment to the town of Brantford. What do you have to say about it now? Mr. Riccio, you are an embarrassment to the town of Brantford. You've posted sexist things online. Women shouldn't be referees at football games because they never had a jock strap. Remember that? Do you remember that? Mr. Riccio, have you ever gone to the cigar club and had a drink before a meeting? Let's go. Now he just threatened to sue me. I should sue your ass for calling me an alcoholic. You do what you got to do, Mr. Riccio. You are an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment to the party. You're an embarrassment to this town. You are an embarrassment, Mr. Riccio. You ran for office, and now you're coming on here jumping all over this podcast. You're an embarrassment to the entire town of Brantford. I don't hold office. Let's talk about the time you told me and Ray Ingraham, if anything happened to me, throw your PC into the sound because I watch a lot of porn. I probably said that. I could see that. It's absolutely something I would say. You're really, really looking good for your town right now. I'll tell you something. Remember that, Steve. Remember how you told me there's good porn and there's bad porn. We want to talk about porn. An elected official is now on a podcast talking about porn. Holy God. You can't make this shit up. That's why parents don't want you to hang around their kids. I'm sorry. You better have some sources for that, Mr. Riccio. Because if you're accusing me of anything with kids, I will sue you. Good luck. By the way, I know a million kids. I don't know what your obsession is with porn right here, but if you're accusing me of anything, Mr. Riccio, that has to do with children, anything inappropriate that has to do with children, you better fucking lawyer up. Do it now. Get the fuck off my podcast. You are an embarrassment to this town. You are a piece of shit. That's what you are. Mark, you don't have any kids. Who the fuck is this guy? Jesus Christ. This guy's a piece of shit. Mark Riccio is an elected member. He's on the Republican side of the RTM. At this point, I'm sorry, but Ray Graham and Jamie Cosgrove have to answer for this. They have to answer for why this guy's on a ticket, why he's going publicly and saying these things. This can't happen. Elected official. An elected official. You know, it's amazing because if he had a brain, it's a bad day for Robin. Robin looks great right now. This is the person Robin Comey ran against. This is the person Robin Comey ran against. Holy God. Okay, I'm creepy. Mark, the whole town knows me. The whole town talks to me. The whole town emails me on a regular basis. I don't embarrass the town in any way, shape, or form. I don't post sexist things. I don't drink too much and say stupid things. Never drank before going to a town meeting. Period. You can say what you want. I don't know any kids that have ever been kept away from me. Ever. Been to Little League games. I've had parents over and over ask me to do articles on their kids. I grew up with a brother 12 years younger. I know how to raise kids and change diapers. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, young man, but you are out of your mind. And you are embarrassing an entire town right now. And the party. And yes, the party leaders, including Jamie Cosgrove, has to answer for this. Especially if you end up on a ballot or what happens come the you never saw an article about any kids? We have a million articles about kids. We covered sports. I was at every game for years. By the way, I'm not answering questions to this asshole. You're an embarrassment. You know what, Robin? This was a bad day for you. You made a mistake. There's no question. But from what I see, you have represented this town with dignity and honor up until this one incident. Thank God for winning. Because this is what we would have to deal with every day. This is what we would have had representing our town. Someone that comes on this podcast and pulls this shit. Thank you for winning, Robin. Holy God. Thank you, Mark. You have nothing to say. It's the best words you could have said. Go away. You're embarrassing your family. You're embarrassing the town. You're embarrassing your party. I've covered kids my whole career. I've been to baseball games, little league games, basketball games. Period. And you want to say I'm an embarrassment? Robin Comey has been a representative. She's done fine. She had one bad incident. Jesus Christ, this guy doesn't stop. This guy's mentally ill. There's something wrong with you. Get help. Please get help. Somebody stop him. I'm going to end up blocking him in a second, which is fine. It's just, holy God. Wow. I'm amazed. I don't have words for this. I just don't have words for this behavior. This is an adult. I think he's like 60-something-year-old business owner. I don't have words. Wow. Wow. I don't even know who's. I mean, we got a lot of texts here, and people don't want to post publicly. I get it, but yes, disgrace is the right word. Holy God. Uh, I don't have words for this. Wow. Oh no, Mark, I can take it. Trust me. I'm not an elected official. Nobody elected me. They watch of their own free will, same as you do. You have absolutely embarrassed the hell out of your town. Unbelievable. I know there's a lot of texts coming in. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read these texts publicly, but holy shit. Oh my God. I feel bad. I feel awful right now for Jamie Cosgrove and Ray Ingraham, who have tried to run this town well. This is a guy on your ticket. Now, granted, there's a system in place that they can't really control who gets on the ticket, but they can publicly say who they endorse. And I will be calling them both and seeing what their statement is on this behavior. Because Robin had a bad day. Republicans should just shut their mouth and let her have a bad day politically. That's what you do politically. But now you have a member of the Republican side of the representative town committee on this podcast losing his mind. This is a guy who ran for office. This is a guy who ran for office to represent the town of Branford in Hartford. When he ran, I stated incredibly accurately, they had posted sexist things online. Robin Comey had a bad night. She apologized, I don't know, within a week, when it was significantly public and bought out within hours. Your campaign never did such a thing. We have one stand-up person who dealt with her issue. Accountable for that issue, no question about it. I'll bring it up again, and the press should bring it up again, and her opponent should bring it up again. But this is embarrassment. Ray Ingraham, sorry, folks, that you have to see this. Mark, please stop. Thanks, Steve, for bringing the news fairly. You don't have to praise me, but oh my God. Sometimes people just lose it. And this behavior is absurd. This behavior is nuts. This is not it's talking about porn again. This is not the behavior of an elected official in any party, anywhere. Perhaps one down in Georgia. Just crazy. And I will block him after this. But wow. Holy God. And yes, I have made many jokes about porn. No question about it. At one point, I did make a joke years ago that if I die, take my laptops and throw them in a tub of water, because and it wasn't actually even about porn, just what's on there, way beyond just documents and stuff of that nature. That's beyond the point. Holy God. Holy God. This is unbelievable. This is an elected official. Right now, person is an elected member of the representative town committee. You know who loves this? Like Tom Brockett. Like the Democrats have to love this. This guy is embarrassing the hell out of his own party. Wow. It is sad. There are good things to say about Mark. He's generous. He's helped people in his family. Donated to good causes. But oh my God. Somebody lost their way. I totally wanted to talk about the animal shelter today, but there's nothing to talk about. On a day about Robin's mistake, which she admitted, this guy comes on and does that. Wow. I don't have words for that. I'm not going to keep this going because this is just an embarrassment to the town. You know, elected officials represent their family and their party and the town, and their actions have legal consequences at times too. And it's time you owe me an apology. I'm sorry I'm letting you continue commenting. I'm afraid you'll say something to get the town sued. There is no words for this. I know my phone is beeping like crazy. I know that. I'm sorry, but a lot of people do not want to comment on a podcast. Holy God. Oh, I never, ever, ever expected this. I never expected an elected official to do this. And Robin, you made one mistake, but thank you for being far, far better than what we're witnessing right now from Mr. Riccio. Thank you for winning that election. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock, likely with one member that's watching now blocked. But holy cow. Guys, have a great night.